to the Great Give. That's
Good morning, Harry Jones. We're back. Great Give in effect. This is Love Babs Love Talk. And we have spent the last day and a half getting ready for the Great Give. So I don't know how much money they raised yesterday, but I'm sure they've reached $1 million, I would imagine. But I'm starting off with
actually let me jump in right here because
jump in.
they're actually up to 2,362,000. So
You know, these people have raised all that money. I just stepped away from my desk a couple of hours and they raised all that much money.
yeah, so it's looking good. Hopefully, you know, it's spreading the wealth, right?
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope it's not just one big donation to one place.
I know.
All right, let me let you get on with Patrick.
One of my favorite people in New Haven, Patrick Dunn, who runs the Pride Center, who has taken the Pride Center from a little itty bitty thought to an amazing, purposeful organization. Good morning.
Good morning, Babs. You're one of my favorite people.
It's nice to see. Listen, I love that video that you did.
Oh, yeah? Thank you.
The little film. It was
you.
so powerful. It freaked me all the way out. I was like, oh my God. It was good.
You.
No, it was real. It was very thought provoking. I sent it to just about everybody that I could send it to, particularly my Planned Parenthood people, because you know I'm on that board, and so this resonates with us deeply. So thank you for that grounding of this moment with that film.
Thank you. No, it's, you know, I created that film about a year ago. The original mix I created probably about 4 years ago. Before the summer before the pandemic, so whenever that was, so at least a decade ago. No, but I created that mix as to be part of the repertoire of performance pieces that I do that are meant to be provocative and meant to be political. And last summer, when I was contemplating how to continue to do drag in a pandemic, I was like, well, let's start making music videos. I guess that was 2 summers ago, and then have been slowly working through different mixes that I have, and wanted to do that one, and had a lot of fun doing it. I did everything in that. I did all the editing, I did all the sound mixing, I did everything.
Well, listen, it's a beautiful piece, I must say. So
I definitely freaked out a whole bunch of people in downtown New Haven the day I was filming, though, running around dressed as a handsmaid.
Woo! Fortune telling.
Yep, exactly.
So tell me about the Pride Center. Tell me about, I know about the Pride Center, but talk to us about the Pride Center and what y'all are trying to do. How will the Great Give help you do what?
Yeah, so thank you so much. So the Pride Center, for anyone who doesn't know or is not familiar with us, we're the LGBTQ plus community center based here in downtown New Haven. Well, not here. I'm technically in my house right now, but I will be in downtown New Haven shortly. But no, the New Haven Pride Center is an LGBTQ community space. We're a safe space for anyone in our community looking for support, looking for art, looking for activity, looking for youth empowerment, and looking for advocacy. And we do a little bit of all of those things every single day. And as far as what will the Great Give do, if we are able to hit our goal of raising $10,000 by the end of the Great Give, we are really going to be putting that money into 2 specific areas of work that we do. One is our arts, culture, and humanities work. For those not familiar, during the pandemic, we decided to take what we did online, and we've now produced over 200 virtual arts, culture, and humanities programs since the start of the pandemic. And we pay artists and thought leaders and community members and youth to be part of these programs every single day. Since the start of the pandemic, we've paid out over $120,000 to LGBTQ plus artists and thinkers, most of whom are from Connecticut and from our community right here in New Haven, to be a part of these programs. And so about half the money will go to support that. The other half is going to go to support our LGBTQ Youth Conference, the Connecticut LGBT Youth Conference, which is going to be relaunching. Some of you may have heard of it, the conference True Colors. It existed for about 30 years up at UConn. So True Colors, the organization that managed that, unfortunately folded during the pandemic, and the conference was given to us to ensure its existence into the future. And so we've renamed it the Connecticut LGBT Youth Conference. It will be taking place at Southern Connecticut State University on May 20th and 21st.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we're going to take the money raised at the Great Give to make food completely free for all the attendees. So one of the biggest
Whoa.
yeah, one of the biggest challenges has always been of the conference is that it costs to attend, and because it's expensive to throw a conference together. And we made it thanks to the incredible support of one of our sponsors, Healthcare Advocates International, and the LGBTQ Health and Human Services Network for the state of Connecticut. We're able to produce the conference completely for free to the public this year. But one of the challenges was food. Food is expensive. And so we're taking about $6,000 if we are able to raise the 10 to make all that food completely free. So any youth attending can get a free lunchbox, both or whichever day they attend the conference.
Wow. So how many youth come through your doors or that you know about or who might be attending in Connecticut? I don't know what those numbers look like.
So True Colors at its height, which was the year before the pandemic, was the world's largest LGBT youth conference. It had about 3,000 to 4,000 attendees every single year, most of who were Connecticut youth, but there were people definitely coming from Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island. It was at UConn, so it made it a little inaccessible, but also like UConn is massive, so there's lots of space. So good and bad, right? And so we're anticipating, because this is our first year, because we did this in like literally this was planned in like 2.5 months. Shout out to Janice, who from Citywide and who recently joined our team as our producer, who's been creating this incredible conference. Janice did this in 2 months, so we're hoping that we're going to have somewhere between 500 and 1,000 attendees this year. I can tell you, we're like seconds away from having 500 attendees, so we're definitely going to have at least 500 youth running around Southern's campus. But as far as like youth in general, the center touches youth constantly. Our virtual support groups are attended weekly by anywhere between 20 and 30 youth. Many of our youth programs that happen in partnership with like Citywide Youth, the Black and Brown Summer Camp is usually about 30 to 40 youth. And they come together to be in community, create space for this like week-long intensive. This summer, we're also launching a couple arts programs geared towards youth that are kind of in the after-school, model of giving youth skills in writing and creative arts. And we're also doing a youth leadership institute that will hopefully train the future GSA leaders within our high schools of Greater New Haven and beyond.
Wow. That's a lot. I mean, you're doing a lot. I mean, Patrick, this is a crazy time where we want to center these voices, but then there are forces that are not trying to center these voices. And so I'm looking around the country and I'm seeing this anti sentiment toward not just our youth, but toward individual adults as well. And I don't know what to make of this time. What do you
well, and Babs, I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna get me in a little bit of trouble, but it's not.
That's right. We like good trouble.
It's not just happening around the country. It's happening in our own backyard. There are 3 different instances that have happened in the last month and a half in our state. In the Hartford Public School System, a nurse outed a student in a public forum, and I think the student was 10 or 11 years old.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, on a mom's group, outed the student for being on hormones and all this other stuff, and also gave misinformation. So not only did she violate FERPA, but she also didn't represent the student properly. And the mother was in the group, and that's how it came out, because the mother recognized that she was talking about her own child. In the New Haven Public School System, we had a situation of a administrator harassing 2 trans students in the bathroom, and just 4 days ago, I think it was the Greenwich School System, approved a Title IX removing all protections for LGBTQ youth. So
wow.
So it's happening in our state too, and that's the reality. And it's maybe not happening in the same organized fashion as it's happening in places like Florida, where the Don't Stay the Gay bill happened. But it's happening in our own state. There was recently a new PAC formed in Connecticut. The goal of the PAC is 4 things: overturn marriage equality, ban trans students from youth, from sports, ban the teaching of critical race theory in the state of Connecticut, and I forget what the 4th thing is. But it's happening in our own state too. There is this unfortunate wave of hate that is targeting a variety of communities of minority. A variety of minority communities. Unfortunately, right now, it's pretty hot to target the LGBTQ plus community. And that's why we every day at the center, and all of our friends around the state at all of the various LGBTQ orgs that work either with staff or on a volunteer basis, are constantly pushing back and constantly doing the work of advocacy to make sure that a child, a human, an adult, like it doesn't matter what age you are, that you can feel safe in your home, your city, in your state. It is vital. It's the only way that we as a community will thrive is if you feel safe.
So if people feel some kind of way about supporting in our community, our young people and adults, then this is a great give moment for you. This is a great give moment for you.
Give us that money so we can keep the fight going.
Say it with your wallet. You want to fight with your wallet. I mean, we absolutely need people on the streets marching and protesting, but we also need to fund these activities so that young people have some place to go where they feel affirmed and safe and cared for. Yeah. So Patrick, did you think in your lifetime that you would see so many gains on the verge of being taken away? Like, I mean, what was it like when you saw the gains? Because you're a relatively young man, so you saw some of these gains and some of these wins and marriage equality come around, and now it looks like people are trying to sort of, turn the clock back.
I will tell you a little story. So when I was in college, I believe I was a sophomore in college when marriage equality passed in Massachusetts. 2004. And I remember my really good friend, Sean Norman, and I looked at each other and said, let's just drive, because I went to University of Hartford. So we're like 25 minutes from the border. So let's just drive up to Massachusetts and get married, because we're never going to see marriage equality in our lifetime. Like that 2004, that is what we thought. We genuinely, as a community, never, I thought I would be 50, 60, 70, 80 before I ever saw something like marriage equality actually be a reality in this country, or anywhere in the world. Like, I mean, it's not necessarily, I don't say that as a dig at the US, like I say that in general. And we've made incredible strides over the past 20 years of fighting and pushing, and particularly in our state. And there are so many greats that I stand on the shoulders of in our state that passed incredible things. I think of someone like Diana Lombardi, who just finally retired. She spent her entire life fighting for the rights of LGBTQ people, particularly trans people in our community. She's been instrumental in every bill that relates to our community for the last at least 20 years. And she, what is she doing in retirement? She's retiring from Trans Advocacy Coalition, where she's worked for, like I said, at least 20 years. And now she's working with the aging LGBTQ population and representing them on a statewide board serving the LGBTQ community, right? Like there are these greats in our community that have done so many things that have allowed people like me to do this work every single day. But it's not surprising to see the rollback. See the rollback is maybe the wrong word, but it's not surprising to see the attacks come. I think when any minority community makes a difference in their lives and the way they exist. This has happened with every civil rights movement in the United States history and all over the world. Like, this is not unique to the United States either, realistically. There's always going to be that pushback. There's always going to be people trying to take away what gains we make. And that's why we have to stay strong. We can't just rest back on our heels and say, okay, we got that. We can breathe, right? Unfortunately, the reality is of being a minority community in a world where minorities are often under attack is that you always have to be aware of what's happening around you and understand that if something's happening to another community, it affects your community just as much, right? When issues are coming up or pushbacks are happening around other issues that maybe on the surface don't immediately look like LGBTQ issues, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be caring and we shouldn't be pushing and fighting back alongside our siblings of other fights, because civil rights is only possible when we all row in the boat together.
Mm. It is such a pleasure to see you. Now, there's a component to this great give where you have to sing for your supper. So I know you can sing. I know you can dance. I know you can recite a poem. I know you can do all the artistic things. So what you got for us?
I almost showed up in drag for you this morning, Babs.
I would have loved it. I got to get in on this. I want to get dragged.
You can drag you.
I want to be dragged. I want to look like those divas.
Yeah, well, did you see when I did that to Ala Ochumade from Black Lives Matter? I put her in drag on live cam. It was very fun.
No, I didn't see that. I gotta go back and look for that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Oh,
did
please
bring a
send me.
poem.
I will pay good money to see her.
I did bring a poem. It's a poem by Frank Bedart, and it's called Queer. So the poem, it goes as, lie to yourself about this and you will forever lie about everything. Everybody already knows everything. So you can lie to them. That's what they want. But to lie to yourself, what you will lose is yourself. Then you turn into them. And I'm not going to read the rest. You have to go and find the rest. But I just loved that passage.
That's a good passage. That is so appropriate for the moment. Appropriate for the moment. Well, thank you. I hope you hit your goal.
I hope we do too. We're like 40% of the way there. So
all right. So get
y'all.
them. Listen, y'all out there, because I know folks is listening to me because you let me know yesterday, and I know you tuned in today. So if you're gonna give, I'm telling you, the Pride Center is the way to go. So Patrick Dunn, you are doing amazing work over there. Thank you for showing up this morning. I appreciate the poem, and I can't wait to see what y'all do next.
I so appreciate you, Babs, and all that you do in our community above and beyond for everyone, because you're an advocate for everyone, and I love that.
I think we need a drag night on the porch.
Yes, I'm so into that.
Thank you so much.
I will have a good rest of your day, Babs. I know you got a long one.
I do, baby, but I'm here for it, so we're gonna get it done. So thank you. Okay. Have a good one. Nice to see you. Woo! Harry, we cooking with grease, baby. We cooking with grease. All right, that's a great way to start the great give off. Listen, people, this is the Great Give Radiothon on WNHH. I'm Babs Rawls-Ivy. That's Harry Droz. We holding it down from 9 to 11. I don't know who's on after me, but I know right now it's on and popping. So, Harry, let me do a shout out to the town of Hamden, the mayor, Detective Dolan, the police community collaborative. So we had a Delta Day at Town Hall last night. I've never been in that building, Harry. So it was a good conversation. I had a good facilitated conversation with the town of Hamden. Adrian Weber, newly elected to the council. The mayor is new. The town clerk is new. Everybody's new. There's all kinds of new people over there. But we had a good, a spirited conversation about the direction of Hamden. So I just wanted to shout them out because some of them listened to the show, Harry, which I did not know, but they listened to us. So, it was pretty good. Just so you know. I can't hear you, Harry. Are you talking?
Oh, Babs, you're very gifted. I was hoping you read lips.
If Harry's not throwing me under the bus, he's praising my talents.
That's right. Babs is very talented.
Extreme.
No, so it's good when people when you can have conversations, and I love that you say you had a spirited conversation.
Yeah, it was good.
Love that.
I mean, we talked about some hard things. I mean, we didn't do a deep dive, Harry, but we talked about some hard things, and they met the challenge. They didn't shy away from it. They didn't like try to double speak me or try to gaslight me. They came to the conversation with an open mind and an open heart. And I think this mayor in Hamden, she's got a great team. I met her chief of staff, who seems to be very smart, very knowledgeable, very, very strategic. And I met a couple of their council folks. So it was really, really good. I hope that we continue these kinds of conversations with them.
I forgot what her last name is, but it's Mayor Lauren.
Yeah, Mary. I think her name is Mary. No, I think so. She's an interesting woman.
Mayor Lauren Garrett.
Yeah, Lauren Garrett.
It took me a while because I have.
Oh, you know what? Because it was a Mary on the panel, I think.
I have a little angel on my shoulder over here.
Okay, good. Who?
Nora.
Paul?
Nora.
Oh, Nora?
No. Paul's on the other shoulder. You guess. Angel. Opposite of angel.
Oh, okay. So shout out to the New Haven Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, which I am a proud member of, and shout out to the Hamden legislative leadership, because I think it takes a lot of courage to sort of have these conversations. I mean, we didn't have a huge turnout of people, but But I think once people get used to seeing us in those spaces, that they'll come out and that the conversations are engaging. And
Wait, wait. What was the talk that you were having? I mean, was it a community thing or was it a Babs Rolls Ivy thing?
No, it wasn't a Babs Rolls Ivy thing. We do these things where all over the country, Delta spend time in legislative spaces, town halls, state legislative offices, and DC. So this is the first time we normally are in New Haven, Harry, and usually to a huge turnout in New Haven. But this is the first time we did it in Hamden. One, because our soror, Karima Weber, is the new town clerk, and her husband, Adrian, is the new council member. So we thought we would bring our brand of legislative conversation, political action conversation. So the conversation was really about public safety and what that looks like in Hamden. So, I talked about everything, Harry. How they bring these kids to school. Oh, we got somebody.
We have somebody. We're supposed to have, I mean, I'm not sure if this is who it's supposed to be, but I have a Ken Paulin for Winning Ways listed for the next guest. But right now in the room, we have the Night Center.
Who's the Night Center?
I'm not sure. Do you want to let him in?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's do this. All right, you're listening to The Great Give on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. And let me say this again. The Great Give, a 36-hour online giving event to support local nonprofits. And of course, it's being hosted on the Love Babs Love Talk morning show. There you go. How about that, Babs?
I like that. That's good, Harry. That's good. Harry, you getting extra money for this?
No. I'm getting my Love Babs cut.
Well, then that's no cut at all. Okay, Night Center, I see you out there. What you got?
Good morning. I know I'm not due to be on until like 10:45, so I just came in to see what was going on.
Oh, well, you can't do that. So,
okay.
So step out and come back at 10:45. All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I love that.
That's people who don't use Zoom.
Baz is the Great Give Police.
Now, if I would have taken her, Harry, then somebody else would have showed up who was in the slot, and then I would have just backed up all the traffic. So I just like, you know what? Let me not. I was like, you want to see what's going on? Go to the Facebook page or go to the website.
Oh yeah, we're scheduled up to 3. And yesterday we went to like 3:30 because everything got backed up.
It got backed up, and so I don't want to be the reason. So So at 9:30 we have the Columbus House people, because I'm looking at the schedule that you sent.
Yeah.
So,
okay. 9:30. Yeah, Columbus House.
Columbus House. All right. I know them. My friend Allison Cunningham she ran that for many, many years, and so I'm glad to see that they got some new leadership over there, and they're out here trying to.
Well, we have a little time to talk, Babs. Let me ask you. Now you're gonna have a drag night at the porch.
Yeah.
Do you have to get permits to go to put on all of these performances and have people serenade you from the street and?
Harry, shh.
Oh. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think so, Harry. It's like you just have a party. It's like having a party.
Okay.
Do you need a permit for a party?
No. I guess you could.
It doesn't spill over to the street. Like it doesn't. Nobody has complained yet. So.
I guess you're right. I guess Patrick and his peoples could go and strut wherever they want.
Well, I wouldn't want all the drag queens, Harry, because that's a lot of hair and.
Oh, wait a minute. You can't limit it. They'll be coming from the end of the block.
Harry, that's a lot of hair and sequins, let me tell you, and heels for days. I am in awe of these drag queens.
But have they fixed your street lately? I mean, because
What do you mean?
you can't wear those pumps
Harry, you can't wear them pumps anywhere.
and step in a pothole over there.
I don't know, Harry. I don't know how they do it. I'm in awe.
No, I know, it's crazy.
10-inch heels. I'm thinking to myself, I could barely get in a 1-inch heel these
No,
days.
yeah, that's incredible. What they do is just insane.
Now that should be an Olympic sport.
That it should, because that takes a lot of skill.
Harry, if you could prance around in a heel that high, you need a gold medal.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
a shoe deal. I was like, woo! I can't do it. I can't do it. And in hair, and in a long gown, and in a corset. Oh my Lord. They are amazing. So we're waiting for the
You know, in
folks
some
from,
countries, it's called torture.
yeah. Harry, at my house it's called that too.
You know? You know, I was talking to somebody this weekend who was talking about wearing a shoe size too small because they don't like big feet.
Oh,
And it was
Oh.
like, what? You're
Why would you
torturing
do that?
yourself?
I can't do it, Harry. I cannot. I can't.
I mean, why
I'm
would
too
you do
old.
that
First
to
of all,
yourself?
I'm too old now. Harry, I tell you the story. I went to a wedding. I had on some Spanx, and I had to go to the bathroom. And when I got in the bathroom, I couldn't get the Spanx on, so I had to just put them in my handbag because I couldn't.
Yeah, that's
I couldn't get the genie back in the bottle.
that's
my
just
God.
insane. All right, we have Margaret Middleton in the
Yes.
waiting room.
Yes. You got her. You got it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, you're
so-
listening to The Great Give on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. It's all yours, Babs.
Hey, Margaret Middleton. Unmute yourself. Make yourself known to us.
How's it going, Babs?
Fine, it's going well. How are you?
Good. I can't believe it's been a year. I like what you're doing with your hair.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. How's everything over at the Columbus House?
You know, things at the Columbus House are we're in a good moment, I would say. We're in a good moment. It's been a challenging winter. A lot of changes afoot. We're back so I'm talking to you from our primary shelter building on the boulevard, and we actually have clients full-time back in this building in the shelter spaces for the first time since April 2020. So
Wow.
Changes,
Wow,
big
wow,
changes.
wow. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the great give goal today? What are y'all hoping to raise?
we'd like to raise all the money, Babs. We'd like to raise all the money. I'll check in with my development team. We were very fortunate to have a $7,000 match, which I
Okay.
suspect we probably met yesterday, because when I checked in yesterday, we were doing great. But I'll find out from them this morning.
Okay. All right, so why should people care about Columbus House?
I mean, Columbus House has a mission that sells itself. I'm just kidding, Babs. I think people in this community have already opened their hearts in a lot of ways to Columbus House. We have a lot of love and support in the community. And I think it's because, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Columbus House, our mission is to serve people experiencing homelessness in this community. And so many people resonate with that mission. They understand that the deep inequality in our society, which allows some people, some of our neighbors, to sleep outside, isn't acceptable to them. And Columbus House exists for that energy, to say this isn't acceptable. We're going to support people who are in this dire crisis. We're going to get them into stable housing, and we're going to work on the solutions that'll prevent people from having this experience in the future.
Okay. So how many people do you serve?
So Columbus House serves just under 3,000 people a year,
Okay.
which sometimes surprises people because they think of Columbus House as being like the building on the boulevard, which is the primary shelter building. But Columbus House is actually in its 40th birthday year. So we're having a big birthday this year. We were founded in 1982. And we serve people now in 4 counties.
Oh, really?
Connecticut. Yeah. Yeah. See?
Oh, see, that is surprising because we don't know that.
Yeah, so Columbus House actually serves people in 4 counties and has a really big presence in Middlesex County and in Middletown, providing services to people experiencing homelessness there. We support 2 2 family shelters, one in Wallingford and one in Middletown, in addition to the work that we do in New Haven. So for people who aren't familiar with, and they're like, a lot of times what we hear about Babs is people who are like, I see somebody panhandling at my exit on the Merritt. I see people exiting or on the Wilbercross Parkway. I see people panhandling at my stop on Whitney Avenue. What's going on with that? And the answer is, or what do we do about that? And the answer for us is this huge continuum of services. So for people who are in a situation where they're unsheltered, they're actually living outside, we have outreach workers who go out into the places where people live that aren't, to use a technical term, fit for human habitation. So they go under the bridges, they go behind buildings, they go in church stairwells, they go close to the Walmart over on Foxen Boulevard. There's a lot of spots where our outreach workers go, and they work with people who are living outside. And the goal that people have when they're living outside may be to come into shelter. It may be to go directly into housing. It may be to be safe and alive while they're living there. And so we support them in that. Then we run this shelter, which is really just a stopping place for people on their path to permanent housing. It's not, it's a way station on the way. And then we support over 300 people who are in permanent supportive housing. And permanent supportive housing, Babs, is a model that is incredibly effective. 98% of the clients that we put and we support in permanent supportive housing stay housed. So these are people who've had really significant challenges to staying housed in the past. They might have significant disabilities. They may have mental health issues. They may have co-occurring substance use disorders. And with help, they can be happily, stably housed and go on to be the creative, caring, contributing members of the society that we all aspire to be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm fascinated by this family housing situation. What does that look like? Talk a little bit about what sort of families do you see coming to use your services?
Well, I think it's probably not always what people expect. I'm thinking particularly of a family that we served recently where it was a mother and a son, and the mother is a healthcare worker. And she had some unexpected bills. And in our economy, there's so many people who are working people and their wages don't support a lot of saving, right? So when you're in a situation where you're a single parent, you have a kid with a lot of needs, and you have a job that pays the bills, but just barely, a lot of people find themselves in a situation where their unstable housing becomes homelessness. And we're really fortunate at Columbus House that the 2 family shelters we run are actually townhouses. So if you saw them, Babs, you would not be like, oh, that's a shelter building. You would just be like, that's an apartment. Mm-hmm. And I'm really glad that we're able to give families, some space and like a comfortable environment, because I think for children, we know that it's a really traumatic, one of the ACEs, right? Early childhood traumatic experience that has lifelong repercussions to experience homelessness.
Mm. So what was it like for y'all during the height of the pandemic? And what did you learn from that? Because the pandemic is still with us, and if this comes back around in the way that it did, what do you do? Are you prepared? Did you learn lessons? What?
So many things. So first of all, one thing that we learned is when something really devastating like a global pandemic hits this community will support people who are in dire need of help, like people experiencing homelessness. So the people of Greater New Haven came out and supported Columbus House and the work that we do, really lined up shoulder to shoulder with us to make sure that people were safe, that they had access to vaccines, that they had access to medical care, that they were safely housed. And that's why we were able to get people into the hotel early on in the pandemic. I'm really happy to report we had 0 COVID deaths in the shelter population. So we didn't have anybody, we certainly had people get COVID, but we did not have COVID deaths. And I think that's totally a testament to the safe environment we were able to put people in. Using the hotel as shelter was a big learning experience for us, for our clients. In some ways, it was terrific. Our clients had a lot of autonomy, independence. They had a better sense of safety. They could come and go. They had access to a bathroom and a kitchen whenever they needed it. In other ways, it was challenging as a shelter because, like I said, shelter is a way station. It's not your permanent home. And the hotel could be so home-like that for some people, they were like, why do I need to leave this? This is pretty great. Which I was glad that we were able to give them that experience, but also really wanted them to have the benefit of an actual permanent home in a place that they could stay. So those are some lessons that we learned from the hotel experience. And then the thing that's happening right now, Babs, that's really, I think, the big takeaway is that we have hundreds of people, and I can give you the number because I just got it this morning, who are matched right now with the housing subsidy. So they have a voucher assigned to them, or they have some other way that the government can help them pay their rent in a short or long-term way. And they cannot find a unit of housing to rent.
Oh, but that's true for people who are not unhoused, right? Like,
exactly,
just trying to find an apartment. Yeah.
So when the housing market is tight, like it is right now, it compresses, right? So people who are trying to buy a house are being priced out, and they become renters, and they push out people who might have rented that apartment. And the people who get incredibly squeezed are the people who are already experiencing homelessness and trying to get into the housing market. So that's the unprecedented moment that we're in right now. And the takeaway that Columbus House has from that is we have got to have more deeply affordable housing. And this isn't like 10 years from now. We need to have more deeply affordable housing now. And a challenge for us, and I would love to know what you think, given your platform as a communicator, is how we help people understand the extent to which the lack of affordable housing is driving so much instability for people at a range of income levels in our community. Columbus House sort of represents the extreme manifestation of that, right? The poorest people who are so driven out of the housing market that they literally are sleeping outside. But that's one manifestation of this bigger problem, which is there isn't a matchup between housing units that people can afford and the amount of money that people have to spend on housing. So I think that's a big challenge for our community, is to get people who aren't personally affected by that to understand and care about that problem, because it's kind of wonky, right? It's kind of wonky.
Yes. And I will say, as an old politician, that, it is going to require public-private conversations. Elm City Communities, i.e. the Housing Authority, has made great strides in trying to sort of overhaul public housing spaces and create opportunities for people who never had access to public housing. I think it's going to require political will at the highest legislative level. I mean, I think HUD has to have imaginative leadership, and that imaginative leadership has to inspire and empower at the state level, so that the state levels can empower at the local level. So it is about political will. I will always say that it's about political will and what is required, So.
I think that's always where I go to, that it's a matter of political will, because, at a place like Columbus House, we're working on housing and homelessness. It's different than other social service providers that you'll talk to during the Great Give, right? Because it's not like we're serving people with mental illness and our goal is to serve people with mental illness. We're serving people experiencing homelessness, and homelessness is a solvable problem. It's not a problem that as a society we need to tolerate or have at all. It's also a modern phenomenon, like modern mass homelessness, long-term chronic homelessness is something we've gotten used to in this era, but didn't exist when our grandparents were our age. So it's also, it's something that we have to we can't get comfortable with. We should not get comfortable with. We should not accept as being.
And I think, to your point, we can't just expect Columbus House to do it by themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Columbus House doesn't act on its own. We do a lot of work, but we do it in tandem with a huge array of other service providers who are part of the Greater New Haven Regional Alliance to End Homelessness. We do it with our partners in city, state, and national government. We do it with partnership with literally thousands of volunteers. And I really want to call out in particular, Babs, the faith communities, because the faith communities are groups of people who share our mission. Like at their core and at our core, we sort of have the same mission, which is a belief in the dignity and beauty of all people, and the fact that all of those people deserve respect and the basics of a decent life. And so I really want to recognize how much those communities, those faith communities, show up for the people in great need in this community. It's very inspiring.
All right, so you're raising money. What will you do with the money you raised today? Do you have a specific earmark for it, or?
No, I mean, the sad reality, Babs, is that we have to raise money to make government programs possible. So we have to raise money just to have the things that people think of as being government programs, like a homeless shelter, for example, exist. But some of the things that we're able to do when we do fundraising is provide basic needs to people. So, for example, when somebody moves into their permanent home, we make sure that they have all the stuff that they need to make that house a home. Volunteers contribute that directly by assembling welcome kits and that we can use to give to people when they're moving into units. And then we also use donations to buy those things. We use donations to buy bus passes, which are a really big deal. Bus passes probably sound like a minor thing. How can that really matter? But if you're experiencing homelessness and you don't have income, to get to an apartment, to look at it, or to talk to the landlord becomes a huge problem. To get to a job interview, to get to a doctor's appointment becomes a huge problem. So one of the things that we do where we don't have a stable funding source to support our clients is buy bus passes. So we use money to support basic needs. We use it to support bus passes. We use it to run programs that aren't funded by the government, like Abraham's Tent. Are you familiar with Abraham's Tent, Babs?
Yes, I was a member of the Church of the Redeemer on Whitney and Cold Spring, and that was one of we supported that program. I sat with the gentlemen because we had shifts, and I sat with the gentlemen. I played cards. I watched movies. I just sat and talked to them. So yes, we did that at our church. So I know that mission. I know that program very well. Our church, as you know, Church of the Redeemer is no longer a working church. We sold the building. It's becoming an apartments. But I hear Abraham's Tent is still moving through churches, right? It's still part of a church community.
So your listeners who aren't familiar with the program, I think Abraham's Tent is one of the beautiful things that Columbus House does. It helps create very greatly needed shelter beds in the winter by coordinating with faith communities that open shelter beds essentially for a week within their congregate spaces. So within their rec room, wherever they want to set it up. So we'll have 12 people who are committed to being in the program during the winter. Columbus House transports them to these sites in the evening and picks them up in the morning. And then the churches and the synagogues and the mosques do the incredible work of supporting these people, just like you just said. So they provide them with a meal, they provide them with entertainment, in your case, movies and conversation, they provide them with a safe, warm place to sleep. But the thing about Abraham's Tent, Babs, is that it's not just that it creates these very badly needed shelter beds in the winter, it's that it creates these relationships that you just described, that it creates a conversation, that it connects people. We have congregations that do a week of service together. So you have the synagogue and the church down the street joining up to do the service together. You have all the congregations meeting at the beginning and end of the winter to talk about how the program is working. So the multiple levels of connection and community that program builds are really beautiful to me. There's something about Columbus House that I really treasure. And that's a program that is completely volunteer funded. Like it's completely funded out of donations. So that's the kind of thing that somebody donating today could support. And if they wanted to put an earmark and say, please fund Abraham's Tent, totally okay with me. We always need money for that. I want to thank the congregations that participated in that because we haven't been able to do it in the last 2 years in the same way. Yeah. Very much hoping that this year we'll be able to open it again.
Yes. And I want people to know that there's training. So it's not like, any old church can do it. There's training, there's commitment. There's all kinds of things that happen before you can even get the first guests to come and stay at your church. So
and it's a big deal because people stay up all night, right? The place has to be staffed all night, and so
all night.
I think it's interesting because in some ways volunteers tend to want a project that's like pretty time limited. They want to do something that's like for a few hours. But there's a way in which Abraham's tent is so hard that it also really energizes people, because it's like, we're going to take on this really tough thing. And that's a really amazing thing too. I think it's really community building for the people within the congregation that sign up to do that too.
Well, it was one of the best things I've ever done, and we've done it over the years. As a church.
On my website, Babs said it was one of the best things she's ever done.
Yes, you absolutely can. It really was quite moving, and I wasn't afraid. It was just one of the most holiest things that you can do. It is at the heart of what my faith calls me to do, to be in service and to be in service to someone. That really was it. So thank you for reminding me of that, Margaret. I appreciate that greatly. So.
Well, it's one of the great pleasures of working at Columbus House is getting to feel close to that work every day. And, you know, in my role, I really get to support people whose work is doing that every day. And you're right. You didn't feel afraid, and you made connection because it just reminds us that everybody is people, you know, people are people. And I tend to think that that's one of the reasons that homelessness persists, is that we allow ourselves to believe that people are very different from us, and they're not.
They're not.
And if you spend a couple hours watching a movie with somebody, you're like, yeah, we both think this movie's ridiculous. We both think this movie's hilarious. You know, like, this movie reminds you of your childhood. I also love to eat that. You know, people are people.
Thank you so much, Margaret Middleton. I am happy that I got a chance to talk to you this morning.
Likewise, Babs. It's so fun. Let's do it again before next year.
Well, I hope you just come on my show and just be a guest.
Yeah, exactly. Invite me. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Can I come in person though?
Well, you know what? We've not opened up our studio fully, so we're still doing stuff. I'm still doing stuff virtually. Paul Bass is the only one that has been doing stuff in studio, and we do pundits a couple of times a month in studio. So yeah, but perhaps.
Listen, I'm so grateful to y'all, because I think it's so special that you take the Great Give as an opportunity to share with this community all the work that's happening through nonprofits. And I know I personally was like, it was irresistible to me yesterday to send out a bunch of checks. Like, it really gets me every year. And so grateful to you guys for participating in that. I think it's a wonderful moment.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a great moment.
It's a great moment. It is. It really is. And nobody else can dedicate this kind of time the way that we do to each of these organizations. So it is our pleasure to do it. So,
well, thank you very much,
Margaret Middleton.
Thank you,
I
Babs.
look forward to talking to you soon.
Likewise. Bye.
All right. If y'all care about homelessness, send your money over there to Columbus House. The Great Give is in effect. We're doing it. And I know of no better organization than the Columbus House today. So give. Between them and the Pride Center, I'm one. Hey, Nora.
Hi, no, I'm here. Oh,
how are
Harry
you?
was there for a second.
Are you taking over for Harry?
Yeah, I'm subbing for Harry for the rest of the day.
Wow! Oh, trial by fire.
I'm here to remind everyone that you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, listening to The Great Give, a 36-hour radiothon to support local nonprofits. And of course, it's happening on the Love Babs Love Talk morning show. And Babs, you now have about 8 minutes before a representative from the Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen comes on.
Oh, I'm a fan of them. So, all right. So have you been paying attention to the whole Great Give? Who do you like? You sent any money yet?
Some of it. I have not sent any money. I've been watching the money roll in. We're at $2,449,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this community is really stepping up. The pandemic has not slowed this down one bit.
Do you have any idea?
I don't know where we were last year at this amount, but this is a good amount.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how much was raised last year, but this is a lot. It's really satisfying to just watch the number go up and up and up and up.
And people out here working hard and doing anything. I didn't get Margaret a chance to do her poem or whatever she had to do. I was so engaged in the conversation that I forgot to ask her, okay, what is your talent? Other than trying to get people housing. That's the real talent.
I wasn't tuning in yesterday, but you were hosting yesterday as well. What have been some of the highlights so far?
Oh, I mean, I'm impressed with so many things. You know, I had folks on yesterday. Let's see. Let me look at my notes because I enjoyed Solar Youth. They are still around. I enjoyed the Connecticut Women's Hall of Fame. I was not aware of them, so that was really good.
You should be in that.
Yeah, it was great to see Reverend Benita Grubbs, Christian Community Action. That was really good. Of course, Ann Coates over at Creative Arts Workshop, and the Boys and Girls Club, which I have some personal attachment to, but I served on their board many years ago, and it's good to see that they are still providing educational services and recreational services to kids in the Hill, and whoever wants to go there from around the city. So it's been really, really nice to have folks. Hey Harry, are we ready to get on for the next person or?
Well, you know, they're scheduled for 10. We can make them wait till 10.
Okay, we'll wait. We'll make them wait.
Yeah. So, have you decided yet who you're giving to, Babs?
Oh gosh, I mean, no. I will know by this afternoon. I'm making little check marks by the people, because I'm on a board, so I already give to the boards. I serve on, so I want to give to some new organizations that I'm not familiar with and I've not had served on.
Do you hear my background noise over here or no?
I hear something.
Okay, yeah, I have Norma cleaning behind me, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, so I couldn't decide yesterday, either I have two that are probables.
Can you say who they are, or you want to wait?
I want to wait, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till the end of today and look at the list.
Okay.
I got.
Are you making notes? Are you like making little asterisks?
Well,
like
right. I have two check marks next to two organizations.
Okay.
And me, it's easy. Like you said yesterday, I like people who help the youth. So,
yeah,
I'm gonna wait to see what happens today. But it's amazing. We're at $2,453,650. I mean, 57.
And I wonder where that was last year, right? Like, I wonder.
I think we just reached. We were under 2 million. And let me see the leaderboard.
Okay. Do we still have the leaderboard up over us for the show? Because I was watching the show and I didn't realize. I was like, oh shoot, the leaderboard is up on the show.
Well, yeah, we have the donations right above us, and the leaderboard. You have BH Care. Wow, BH Care took first place from the Boys and Girls Club.
Wow.
So yeah,
I love that it's getting competitive.
Yeah, they're in at 113,000 plus,
Man.
and the Boys and Girls Club is just over 90,000.
Okay, man.
Yeah,
Who's in third place? I don't even want to know.
Third place is Connecticut Center for Arts and Technology.
Oh,
at 86,000.
That's it. Okay, well, who's four? This is interesting. This is some big money.
IRIS, Integrated
yes.
Refugee and Immigrant Services.
Oh, I'm so glad of that.
Oh wow! Look at this. In the top 5, you have another Boys and Girls Club from Naugatuck Valley. Okay. So, Boys and Girls Club from New Haven is number 2, and from the Valley, number 5.
Okay, so that means this community is caring about youth. They're caring about activities for young people, for kids. So that's pretty good.
And Team Inc., which is based in the Valley too. Actually, Karen's, I think, finishing up her employment with Team Inc.
Okay.
And they're in 6th place. I hope they actually use that money well, because I know they're canceling their home visitor program.
Okay. Well, I mean, these are tough times. So the fact that people are giving to them is really, really good.
I think Nora just closed me out of the computer.
Oh, I see you.
No, I'm on, but you know, here I go. Right here.
Oh,
Steve
Sorry.
all right. So we might as well just do the top. We got a few minutes to do
All
the
right.
whole top 10.
Oh, you want to do the top 10? Let's do that.
Yeah, we got a
Right,
couple
so-
minutes before the folks come on.
So number 6 was Team Inc.
Okay.
Number 7, New Haven Coral.
Okay.
Coral? I don't know. Number 8, Towers Foundation.
Okay.
Number 9, Youth Continuum. That's a good one right there.
Oh, that's a good one, and it's headed up by Addis Castillo.
And I just got taken off again. I'm still here, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I see you.
Okay, hold on.
I'll stop clicking on things. Right.
Number 10 is Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well,
That's-
that is a good thing because Steve Werlin is our guy next. So he's the Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen. So they're in the top
yeah,
10.
and not too far from the top 10 is the Elm City Shakespeare Company. So
Yay!
give.
I'm a fan of them too. My daughter Margot performed with them for a couple of seasons, and so I can attest. And my niece Gracie is performing with the teen troupe, so I'm happy.
All right.
I'm
So let me remind you once again that you're listening to The Great Give, a 36-hour online giving event to support local nonprofits. And you're listening to The Great Give on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio, being hosted in the Love Babs Love Talk morning show. That great 2 hours that people love us, Babs.
They do.
So keep giving in these 2 hours. So let's let our 10 o'clock in. Steve
Yes.
Werlin.
Yep. Let Steve in so we
And
can talk
how
about
about-
Harry. They're the folks that we met. They're the guy that Word on the Street ran up on, and they was cooking all that good food and invited us to come eat.
Oh. Okay, here I go.
So I don't think I know Steve. Hey, Steve, unmute yourself. How are
Hey,
you?
good morning, Babs. How are you?
So y'all are in the top 10 for the Great Give right now.
We are. That's true. It's amazing. We're having a good day. So we're getting there.
Yeah. So tell us about the Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen.
Yeah, sure. So for those who don't know us, our mission is to serve people experiencing homelessness or living in poverty by providing food assistance and services that promote health and community and promote equity right here in downtown New Haven. We've been around for 35 years. We're in our 35th year now. And, you know, we are like a lot of organizations that work with people experiencing homelessness and hunger. We have, you know, history from in the 80s in the church community. We were founded by a group of churches downtown, and have for the bulk of our history really been volunteer run, volunteer led. You know, we are a grassroots organization. We've still, even to this day, we've still got a pretty small staff, although we've grown quite a bit in the last few years. But yeah, we're still serving right on Temple Street downtown, right off the New Haven Green, with our flagship dinner program.
All right. So do you do dinner every day, like Monday through
We do
Friday?
dinner 5 nights a week, and then on the weekends we partner with Yale Community Kitchen, which is a student group out of Yale, and they serve on Friday nights and Saturday nights. And it's a cool relationship because the coordinators of the program serve as members of our board too. So it's almost like an internship where they get to like serve on a board and see how a board runs. But then at the same time, they're coordinating this dinner program too. So it's a nice program. Yeah.
All right. So what are you earmarking this money for? But,
What are we
do you have a
earmarking?
special-
So this money is actually going to be going toward our newest program, our Drop-In and Resource Center. So a couple of years ago, in December of 2020, we made a big decision and we bought a building for the first time in our history over on
Whoa.
State Street. Yeah, I know, right? so we bought a small building over on State Street between Chapel and Crown, and we're using it as a drop-in center. It's eventually going to be our dining room also. We're eventually going to build a kitchen in the basement here. And then we're going to have on the second floor a resource center, which is mostly going to be a medical clinic for Hill Health. So we're going to have Hill Health. We're going to have their homeless healthcare department, their team that specializes in healthcare for the homeless, stationed right here with us downtown. So we're going to marry together all of these basic needs, food in this place where people can come in and get off the street, get a cup of coffee, get connected to services, with sort of these next level services like medical care, healthcare, and ultimately those case management and outreach services that Margaret was just talking about that can move people beyond homelessness. So yeah, so that's what we're doing.
Wow. So
I know.
How did y'all fare with the pandemic? Were y'all still were y'all feeding people during at the height of the pandemic?
People don't stop eating, right? So, so of course, yeah. It was it's been a crazy couple of years, to be honest. At the beginning of the pandemic, the world just sort of shut down around us. We found ourselves very much alone downtown. It was us and that Hill Healthcare team and some outreach workers. But all the businesses closed down or shut down, and city departments all shut down. Downtown New Haven was a ghost town down here.
I know. I saw somebody took pictures and
it was weird.
It was eerie, very eerie.
And so but our staff, at that time there were only about 5 or 6 of us on staff, and and most of our volunteers couldn't come up also because many of our volunteers were older and a lot of them immunocompromised. So we spent those early days really recruiting a lot of new volunteers and adjusting, changing around our programs. So we changed our dinner program. We started serving outside, and then our pantry program, which we've been doing for almost 20 years now, we moved that outside too, and we started doing delivery. So we started partnering with Loaves and Fishes and the United Way and CARE and Fish of Greater New Haven and others, and Yale University, who really footed the bill for the bulk of this, to deliver to people's homes throughout the summer into the fall of 2020. And then we started shifting again. So yeah. So it's
Steve, I asked Margaret this question. What did you learn? Because if you have one pandemic, you're gonna have 2 pandemics. You're gonna have 3 pandemics.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. No.
I mean, but the reality is, this is the new normal, right? We have to think about what if catastrophe hits, and how do we preserve the care of the most vulnerable? We can't ignore that anymore, right? So what did you learn? And does that help you planning forward?
Yeah. So I'd say for us, we learned 2 things. First of all, flexibility is key. You have to be flexible in this business. We can't look at what we've done for the last 35 years and say, oh, well, we can't do that because we've never done it before. It doesn't work like that. You have to be ready to be nimble and change with the times, and you need to have a whatever it takes attitude. I've been really, really fortunate here at Desk to have volunteers and a team of staff members who were willing. I said to them, let's buy a building and open up a drop-in center downtown so that people on the street have a place to go. And my staff said, let's do it. And I have a board too that was really, really willing too. I mean, when we first started talking about this, it took a lot of planning and it took a lot of time, but it also took a lot of bravery to say, yes, this is what needs to be done. We're going to do it. So, being flexible and envisioning your organization and your mission as more than the sum of its parts is key. It's essential. Yeah. And so when we have the next disaster, we'll be ready because we know we can do it. We'll have that confidence, Hopefully we won't have that next disaster.
Listen, you are faithful, but I know that we done opened the door to this kind of thing. And so, and with the resistance of a vaccine, I just feel like, we're going to be at this place again because it's a tough thing. So what do you want people to know about the folks that go to the Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen? What do you want people to know about that?
That's a really good question. And I want to answer it in a very long-winded, roundabout way. Can I do that? Is that okay?
Yes, you can. You have time.
Paul told me that I had to bring a poem or a song, and he does this every year. And if I'm being completely honest, I dread this. I dread this task because for 2 reasons. One, I'm not a big poetry guy, but also because most of the poetry that's written about our mission, it's heavy, and it's real heavy. A lot of it is written by people who are currently or have experienced homelessness or hunger. And so it's some really heavy stuff. So, it's kind of, it's honestly during this atmosphere of the Great Give, when we're all, really excited about raising funds, it can be kind of a downer to read a lot of our clients' material, which I have done in the past, and it's moving. It is very moving. But so what I did a couple of years ago was I said, this year I can't do it. I can't do that on the show. So I went into my kids' room in the morning of that I was supposed to give this interview, and I pulled out a Shel Silverstein book, because I said, all right, I need something a little silly. So this was 2020. So this was a few months into the pandemic, and I found Shel Silverstein's Hug of War, and it's a short poem about hugging and people coming together, and I said to myself, this is exactly what we need, and in this moment, this is what we need. And I was very lucky that I found that poem. So this morning I said, I got to come up with something. So I said, I'm going to try the same move. We'll see what I can do. I went into the kids' room. I pulled out the Shel Silverstein book, and I found one that works for this moment. It's a little different, and I think it's going to answer your question too. Okay, so I'll read the poem here. Let's see. This is "What's in the Sack" by Shel Silverstein. What's in the sack? What's in the sack? Is it some mushrooms, or is it the moon? Is it love letters or downy goose feathers? Or maybe the world's most enormous balloon? What's in the sack? That's all they ask me. Could it be popcorn or marbles or books? Is it 2 years worth of your dirty laundry, or the biggest old meatball that's ever been cooked? Does anyone ask me, hey, when is your birthday? Can you play Monopoly? Do you like beans? What's the capital of Yugoslavia? Or who embroidered that rose on your jeans? No. What's in the sack? That's all they care about. Is it a rock or a rolled up giraffe? Is it pickles or nickels or busted bicycles? And if we guess it, will you give us half? Do they ask where I've been? Or how long I'll be staying? Or where I'll be going? Or when I'll be back? Or how do? Or what's new? Or hey, why are you blue? No, all they keep asking is what's in the sack. What's in the sack? I'm blowing my stack at the next one who asks me, what's in the stack? What? Oh no, not you two. That's What's in the Sack by Shel Silverstein. And, I read that this morning and I said, you know what? That's what it's all about. Like most Shel, not all, but like many Shel Silverstein poems, there's sort of an underlying wisdom to it. And for me, when I read this, I think about our drop-in center. I think about the people who come in, and you have to be asking the right question at the right time, right? And so for some people that, maybe that right question is, do you need a cup of coffee? Do you need to use the restroom? Can I get you this? Can I get you that? Do you need toiletries? Whatever it is. And then maybe for other people, the right question at that time is, do you need a place to stay the night? Do you want to try to reconnect with this family member? Can I make a phone call for you? Can we call 211 together? And the key is knowing which question to ask when, right? And so, I'm looking at this. This is a great picture. I know more on the radio, so Babs can see this, and maybe the folks on Facebook. But this is such a great picture of
it is
sack. And and I think to myself, like, well, maybe this guy does want people to ask him what's in the sack, but just not right now. Right now, he wants these other questions. And so it's the same way here. It's all about knowing what's the right question to ask when. And I look at sometimes we've got really talented outreach workers, some from Columbus House or Liberty, some of our own staff members who are really just so talented. They're naturals at what they do, and they know the right question to ask. And sometimes someone comes in and says, just right off the bat, first time meeting, says, do you want to get into shelter tonight? And the guest doesn't want to speak to them. And so it is all about knowing when do you ask that right question. So anyways, that's what it's all about.
Oh, it's such a pleasure talking to you, Steve. And thank you for that thought-provoking poem by Shel Silverstein. Because because it taps into, first of all, my love of poetry, my childhood poetry, and how it fits the world right now.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And
my pleasure.
I hope people keep giving to the Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen. And I hope y'all reach your goal. And I can't wait to drop in to the drop-in center.
I was going to say, you're welcome to come whenever you want. And that really goes for anyone. Anyone who wants to come see this firsthand, it is worth seeing. I mean, it's a sight. And like, it's a drop-in center for the community. So anyone who wants to come see what we're all about, our drop-in center is open every afternoon, 1:30 to 5:30. We're at 266 State Street between Chapel and Crown. Come visit us. We'd love to meet you.
Oh, I'm so coming by. I'm gonna come by. Can I get a cup of coffee while I'm in there?
You betcha.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Thank
And
you.
before I go, can I mention not only should people go give to us, but if you give to us right now, we're in the middle of a match. The Cruz Mackenzie Fund is matching up to $10,000, dollar for dollar, for the next few hours. So if you're listening to this right now and you want your dollar to equal $2, go to deskct.org/greatgive, or just go to thegreatgive.org, type in Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen, and you'll give to us right now. It'll be doubled. So please. I
love these matches. Have been incredible.
I know, that's how it works.
I mean, it has been people get all hyped up about it, like, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it. So I love the spirit of competition, because if we're gonna have competition, if we're gonna have it, this is a good way to do it. I think.
Well, speaking of which, I think we're still in the top 10, and I'd love for us to stay there. So if people are into the competition aspect, keep us in the top 10. Keep us there. Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks for doing this. This is great. Thank you all for being in the church. I really appreciate you guys doing this.
You are welcome. It is our pleasure. We'll see you out there in those streets.
Take care. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you. Woo, Harry, this is going well. Or Nora, whoever's out there.
No, it's Nora. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into WNHHLP 103.5 FM. Are we ready to go on to the next?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get Janae in here. I know Janae, so
perfect.
Say hi to Janae. I haven't seen her in a minute. From Quelf.
Okay, she's joining.
So I know we go way back. Like, we know each other from all kinds of community activism. Hey, Janae.
Hey, Babs.
How nice to see you.
It is wonderful to see you.
How's everything at Quelf?
It's going great. We are working hard, very hard.
So what kind of money y'all trying to raise?
Oh, well, we have set a goal of $2,500 through the Great Give.
Okay. And how's it looking? Are you paying attention to it? What you
It's looking good. It's looking good. We are so pleased to have some supporters. We are about a quarter of the way to our goal. So far, we've raised $625. So thank you to everyone who has donated to us.
And so tell us what Quelf does, what Quelf is.
Sure. Well, using a justice and equity lens, Connecticut Women's Education and Legal Fund, that's what Quelf stands for, advocates for under-resourced and marginalized women and girls in Connecticut. Our work is aimed toward closing the civil legal gap and also creating state policy for economic security. And we do that primarily in two ways. First, our legal information and access program, which we call Legal Education, which is a direct service program that's really deeply imbued with cultural competence and empathy, and we have a real client-centered practice. That program provides absolutely free bilingual legal education and information, referrals to low-cost attorneys, individualized advocacy and community education workshops for people who might have difficulty, receiving traditional forms of help in the legal system. The majority of the people who use our service are women of color with at least one child. These women have low income and have faced historical and systemic barriers to accessing civil legal justice and representation. We're talking about issues like poverty, language barriers, literacy barriers, abuse, fear, intimidation. And through this program, we serve more than 1,000 people a year. And in the New Haven area, that usually works out to be between 200 and 300 people each year. We also have a public policy and advocacy program where we really try to identify the challenges that our clients and other women in Connecticut are facing and really elevate their voices through public policy and advocacy, which we do by working on policy coalitions with our community partners, offering public testimony, and really trying to fight for the continued rights and security of women and girls up at the Capitol.
So, would you say that policies for women and girls are under siege at the moment?
I think we can definitely say that, unfortunately, but this is it's a constant issue if we're not vigilant about protecting our rights and constantly seeking to expand our rights and really fortify access to exercising our rights. Then, really, what are we doing? We can't just sit back and be complacent. Even in a state here like Connecticut, where we feel like sometimes we're ahead of the curve, we always need to be mindful of what is happening and continue to advocate so that all women and girls can really live to their highest and fullest potential and have autonomy over themselves and their choices in their own lives.
So paint me a picture, Janae, of the kind of folks who seek y'all out for your work.
Well, in our legal education program, we work with mostly women. They're women that you might know. They're women that you might know from your neighborhood or from your local community. They come to us seeking help around issues related to family law, employment discrimination. Many times these women are living with poverty. They have language barriers. Perhaps they don't understand how the court system or the legal system works. So our community advocacy manager, Nilda, and a wonderful team of volunteers work with these women to help them navigate this system and to really empower them, to be in charge of what's happening in their lives around the system, and to really provide them not only with the resources they need to advocate for themselves, but also to empower them to advocate for themselves and to advocate for other women in their communities.
Wow. I mean, so what's the best part of your job?
Well, being part of making change and helping to make lives for women and girls better in Connecticut is a great part of the job. But honestly, I have to say, I work with the most incredible staff of women. We do serve quite a lot of people across the state of Connecticut, but we are a small staff. There are only 6 of us. And every day it is a joy to go to work with powerful, passionate, committed women who are really just deeply invested in making sure the state of Connecticut is a place where justice and equity are a reality for all women and girls in our state.
And so do you have a message for men to join in this effort? What do you say to them?
Absolutely. Men, show up. Men, do your part. Men, follow the leadership of the women in your lives, especially Black and brown women, especially trans women. Follow the leadership of women, show up and do your part.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So you're a quarter of the way to your goal. Do you have a specific earmark for this money? Like, do you have a project for it?
Yes, the legal education project that I mentioned, we provide all of these services completely free to anyone who needs them. And we offer them with a bilingual advocate. So we're really able to serve more of the people who really need this assistance in our state. And we run this program sometimes on sheer force of will. Like so many other nonprofits, we are experiencing a lean year due to the pandemic. We were not able to have our big in-person fundraising event the last couple of years. So we've lost a significant percentage of our revenue, and a lot of those dollars are earmarked for supporting our legal education program. So we do hope that folks will, go on to the Great Give and donate, because all of your gifts will be going to a great purpose. And for folks who may also be feeling the pinch of the pandemic and who really care about these issues and want to help, but perhaps don't have anything to share at the moment, instead of the gift of a donation, we would love the gift of your time and attention. So please do follow Quelf on social media and sign up for our newsletter so you can get action alerts to find out how you can participate and raise your voice, and to just know more about what we're doing in communities like yours.
So what does the Great Give mean to you? Like, what does it mean to participate? Considering that you haven't been able to do your big fundraisers for the last couple of years. So what does this mean? Tell the folks what this means to you to be able to participate in the Great Give.
I love the Great Give because it's an opportunity for all of us to come together to support each other. I think that this is a really wonderful example of people in community caring for each other and really, you know, putting our money where our mouths are, like really saying these are the issues we care about and making investments and gifts that move toward creating the kind of world that we all want to live in. So the Great Give is a really wonderful opportunity. And I also appreciate this as an opportunity for folks who might not be familiar with QUELF to get a deeper understanding of who we are and what our work is. And also just to know that we exist so that you can share our work, share our legal education program, because most of us know someone who could benefit from these services.
So I know you might have a poem or a talent or a song or a dance. What you got for us, Miss Janae?
I do not have a dance. That's not one of my talents, but I did bring a poem. I found a poem, a short poem that I think really speaks to not only the long history of QUELF. We will celebrate our 50th anniversary.
Wow.
2023. Yes, we were founded in 1973. But also this poem really pays tribute to all of the women who have fought so hard for all of us to be where we are right now. And I think now more than ever, especially everything that's happening on the national stage, it's important for us to remember those who came before us as we continue this fight. So I brought a short poem called Legacy by Rupi Kaur. Those of you who are on Instagram might know her from Instagram. She is a young poet of color who writes wonderfully inspiring poems about being a woman. And this poem is called Legacy. I stand on the sacrifices of 1 million women before me, thinking, what can I do to make this mountain taller so the women after me can see farther?
Wow. Thank you so much, Janae Woods Weber. It is very nice to see you. I'm glad to see QUELF is out there still doing their mission. And I hope you all raise all the money.
So do I. Babs, thank you for having us. I really appreciate this opportunity. I do encourage everyone to follow QUELF on social media so that you can learn more about our work. And thank you to everyone who makes a gift to us today. We really, truly appreciate your support, and we will put your donations to good use serving the women and girls of Connecticut.
Thank you very much, Miss Woods. I will see you soon out here in these streets.
I'll be there.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, Nora, we are keeping the train moving. Miss Janae Woods Weber is signing off, and we've got another wonderful guest coming up in about 4 minutes so that we can get ready. And if you don't know, the Online Journalism Project, hey, we're in the Great Give too, people. So you can throw some coins our way too. Listen, I don't know if we have a goal. We probably don't have a goal. So whatever you give us, we are grateful for. Online Journalism Project. Give.
Yeah, give to us.
Give to us. If you like what we're doing.
We could definitely use it.
Yes. So, Harry, the Great Give is going along swimmingly. It was nice to see Janae. I haven't seen her in a minute, so it was very nice to have her on. So I appreciate that.
We're really close to 2.5 million.
Oh man! All right.
With 10,331 donations, so that's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I mean,
I mean, I don't know if my Elon Musk cat litter money is gonna make a difference, but I'm still.
Did you say Elon Musk cat litter money?
Cat litter money. He lines his cat litter with the money I have.
Okay, Harry. Well, I got Skid Row money, Harry. So if I, listen, I got to be out there panhandling to get the rest of it, because I don't know, or get on a pole and shake it down a little bit and get some more, because I want to give. I want to be able to support some of these organizations, and from what I understand from Jackie Downing, $5 goes a long way. And those who could give more, give. For those who can only do 5, it's a good feeling to give, even if it's only $5, Harry. You feel like you have participated and supported a cause that is near and dear to you. So everybody can't give 5,000, but you can put 5 on it.
No, definitely. I mean, and who better to give to right now with what's going on with women, right? So the
Yes.
Connecticut Women's Education and Legal Fund.
Yes.
Go help women out.
Go help women out. Help women out. So our next guest, Harry, is who is this?
Katie Poole.
Katie Poole, Executive Director of the Mazzaro Community Farm. I think I had them on last time I talked to them last year.
Yeah.
About the Mazzaro family farm.
Yeah, and it's really impressive. We're gonna let her in pretty. I think, as a matter of fact, I might have to put them on my list before she even talks, because I remember them from last year.
Yes.
And I was really impressed with what they do. So, yeah, let's.
Oh yeah, because you were supposed to make a run over there to the farm, Harry, and
Yeah, I never got out there. COVID.
COVID. Outdoor in the farm, Harry. Outdoors. Farms are outdoors.
All right. Do the vegetables wear masks? No. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I know, but you give them a good wash. A little baking soda, a little vinegar, give them a good wash.
So, Babs, I see you're suffering too with your eyes. It's today. The pollen count is.
Oh
really
no,
bad.
I'm not suffering because of that, Harry. I was out because I was out late last night drinking beers with my friends.
Out in these streets.
I'm out in these streets. So that's the effects of that. It's not pollen.
Okay. No, my eyes are itching like crazy. I'm trying not to touch them.
Yeah, it's a tough allergy year for people. Yeah.
Let's let Katie Poole in.
Yay!
You're listening to The Great Give. The Great Give, a 36-hour online giving event to support local nonprofits on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. And of course, being hosted in the wonderful 2 hours of the Love Babs Love Talk morning show.
I'm a giver, Harry. I give.
All right, here's Katie.
Here's Katie Poole.
Katie.
Hey. So she's coming on. Hey, Katie Poole.
You still got me on mute. There we go.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I have yet to see you come out here, so I want to know when we're going to be able to host you here at the farm, give you a tour.
I'm coming. I'll be out there soon. How's everything on the Mazzaro family farm?
Everything is fabulous here. We are busy as ever. Of course, it's a beautiful day, but we're working no matter what the weather. So our farmers have been out there even in these cold spring temperatures and getting seedlings ready for our big spring seedling sale and our CSA. So that's what's happening here.
Oh, I love the CSA. Although I used to do I'm on the board of Common Ground, so I used to do the CSA at Common Ground. It was way too much food.
You got to eat more veggies, lady. Got to eat more veggies.
I was like, Lord have mercy, I can't keep up. All right, so what's the goal? What are you raising money for? Is there a specific program that y'all are doing that you're trying to raise money for, or what's the goal?
We have done specific fundraisers the last couple of years. Last year, it was the launch of our new organic egg laying operation. But this year, honestly, we are really just fundraising for general things on the farm. And that being our organic farm operation and our growing list of farm-based educational programs. We had planned for this for quite a while. Pandemic delayed it a little bit, but last year we switched from a half day to a full day summer camp. As you know, we sit on the line with the Valley. We are literally on the unifying line of Woodbridge and Ansonia. We have a tremendous number of families who come to the farm. Families from all the surrounding towns, but especially the lower Dogtuck Valley. And we're really trying hard to make our programs as accessible as possible. We've also introduced a scaled model of our CSA so that people can choose the payment option that works for them. And we're accepting EBT payment now. So all of these things together really go towards, broad-based educating people about how important it is to keep our food supply chain local support organic farming, support the health of the planet and each other, and make healthy food accessible for everybody. So that's really what we're raising money for this year.
And you know, food prices right now, Katie, are through the roof. Like
They
people
are.
are making hard. I mean, I think people have always been making hardcore choices, but this right now in this moment, people are not getting fruits and vegetables. They're going for the old school staples because money is very tight. So what do you
Yes.
say to those people?
I say to them, take advantage of our scaled pricing model. I mean, when you are supporting your local farmers and buying in season, you are often getting things cheaper than you may get them in, the big supply chains, because you're buying in season and when there's a ton of those things on the market already. And this goes beyond what we're doing right now here at the farm, but I also say to people like community garden plots, backyard growing, local foraging. I mean, believe it or not, most of the things that are really good for our bodies right now are wild and growing everywhere, like dandelion greens and chickweed and nettle. And these things are like powerhouse foods. So there are food sources accessible. We need to continue to educate people.
Wow, I love it. So tell me why you like about the farm. Why is this your ministry and your mission and your life's work?
Yeah, literally my life's work, and all of us who choose to do this for a living. I think we are, and I'm going to speak collectively now because it's not just me, it's a we. And I think we are a farm family of people who are just incredibly passionate about making sure that we are making healthy food accessible for people. We know that, whether people are incarcerated or whether they're struggling to put food on the table for their families, or, just trying to make better choices, people with dollars that can vote with their dollars, trying to make better choices for the planet. We are the reason why we exist, right? This is the reason why we exist. A community farm protecting about 60 acres of open space right here in your community. Know how your food is grown, know who your farmers are. They're passionate about making it accessible and keeping it in the community and doing things like reducing greenhouse gases, reducing plastics in our food and the environment, reducing pesticides and the loss of native species and bees. And yeah, the list goes on and on.
All right, so tell me a little bit about how many people y'all serve? How many people come through the farm? How many people do the CSA? How many people participate in the programs?
Yeah. We're really fortunate. We've actually grown our CSA over time. We started out with about 125 subscribers, and the last 2 years we've hit 300.
Whoa.
Now, that's great, and we don't want to grow beyond that. It does mean that more people are taking advantage of our more flexible options. So they might not get 20 full weeks of a CSA, but they might get 10 weeks or somewhere in between. So we're offering a lot more options for people to meet people where they're at and kind of compete with those home delivery services and just the flexibility that people are seeing elsewhere. As educational programs go on the farm, and as our name recognition grows, we are seeing more and more farm visitors. And by our guesstimates, lots of people come here when we don't know about it, but I think we're hosting about 6,000 farm guests a year.
Wow, that is a lot.
It's a lot for a small farm.
It is a lot for a small farm. And do you feel like your name recognition, the farm is growing in recognition, that people are seeking y'all out in ways maybe they didn't do 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
I think they are. And I think that's due to a number of different things. Our social media following has grown. We were able to reach a broader audience and new people who were buying from us through an online store that we offered during the pandemic. So that introduced more people to our produce and our subscription. Our name recognition has grown through partnerships and new offerings that we've added. The summer camp certainly was a big one. Other partners that we have in the community like Team and Griffin and YMCA and the Chamber, many of whom I've seen interviewed over the last 2 days. So, Valley Save Our Youth, Chapel Haven, the Fish of Greater New Haven. So partners that are using us to get our food to their food recipients, or organizations that are partnering with us to highlight the health benefits or reach the communities who can benefit from farm education. So a long list of partners that I think has really helped grow our name recognition across the area.
And so, on top of the programs, on top of the CSA, on top of people coming to visit, do you host events? Can people get married over there? Can people have birthday parties? I mean,
they can do that. And I will say we've certainly, with people having restricted access to indoor places, we've certainly seen an increased number of requests for that. I mean, we operate on a pretty small staff here, and, allowing people to have their own parties here is a little bit limited by what we're doing here ourselves, but you certainly can. We actually have a small fundraiser with a Yale School of Management grad happening this Saturday evening. She is intending to go out west and reopen her own farm based on our model. So we're happy to support that. But we have lots of things happening, like free movie nights happening starting this month and through the fall.
Wow.
We're doing a concert series, which we started offering during the pandemic to give musicians a venue to perform. So this month, we're really excited to have Hubinger Street from the Valley here performing. And those are things that happen throughout the season, but we also have like big annual events, our seedling sale, May 21st, and Ferry House Trail. We're actually going to be having a vendor's market here, our annual farm to table dinner, some events in the fall. So yes, there are big one-time events each year and then series that we do throughout the season.
Well, this ain't my grandmother's farm, let me tell you.
You know what? You gotta diversify. As a small farm, you have to have revenue streams in a couple different places, and we're trying to do those things while still accomplishing our mission to keep farming, feed people, and build community.
I love it. I love it. So are you part of a farm collective? Like, do you talk to other farmers in the community, in the neighborhood, in Connecticut, across the country? How does that work?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't have a lot in participation in that, but our farm crew does, and our farm director, Steve Muno, does. We have long been a member of Connecticut NOFA, which is the Northeast Organic Farming Association. We're part of the organization of, we're one of a series of partners of the New Connecticut Farmer Alliance, which is generally new people coming into farming. And there's also a number of different sort of smaller kind of partnerships and loose groups that happen online and and even broader, right? There's World Organic or farming organizations where there is a presence and conferences where you can go and exchange ideas and best practices and really learn what's happening in technology and also collaborate. And yes, our farm manager is very good at partnering with other farms in the region, which is one of the things we did during the pandemic to bring other items to our consumers through the online store.
I love it. All right, so you know how this goes. You got a poem, a song, a dance. What you got?
Oh man, nobody said to me dance, and I have really been missing dancing. So if I would have known that, I would have gotten something ready. But I do have a poem for you all, and I'm happy to read that. So I'm going to read a little bit from Khalil Gibran this morning. And this is his Song of the Rain. So here goes.
Okay.
I am dotted silver threads dropped from heaven by the gods. Nature then takes me to adorn her fields and valleys. I am beautiful pearls plucked from the crown of Ishtar by the daughter of dawn to embellish the gardens. When I cry, the hills laugh. When I humble myself, the flowers rejoice. When I bow, all things are elated. The field and the cloud are lovers, and between them I am a messenger of mercy. I quench the thirst of the one, I cure the ailment of the other. The voice of thunder declares my arrival. The rainbow announces my departure. I am like earthly life, which begins at the feet of the mad elements and ends under the upraised wings of death. I emerge from the heart of the sea and soar with the breeze. When I see a field in need, I descend and embrace the flowers and the trees in a million little ways. I touch gently at the windows with my soft fingers, and my announcement is a welcome song. All can hear, but only the sensitive can understand.
Wow.
There we go.
Who knew that would be a perfect farm poem by the great Khalil
Gibran.
Gibran. That's beautiful. Well, I'm coming to the farm soon. I'm waiting for this weather to get a little bit better because it's cold. And
you can't wait. It's like camping. You got to go no matter what. But anyway, yeah, let me know when you're coming. I'll be happy to give you a tour.
I'd love to. It's so good to see you. It's so good to know y'all are thriving and doing this good work. So, folks, if farming is your thing and organic food is your thing and community is your thing, you might want to give to the Mazzaro Family Farm.
Thank you
y'all
very
so
much,
much.
Babs.
Good to see you.
All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
You too. Take good care. All right.
All
We're
right.
keeping the train moving. Harry Droz, where you at? Harry, we have to make our way to the farm. She told we were supposed to go last year. We didn't go. So we got to go this year.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm there in spirit with you. But let me correct something I said earlier, because I said I think it was like 1.8 that we, collected last year, but actually last year 3.35 million was donated in the Great Give, and the year before that it was 3.5 million.
That was at the height of the pandemic, right?
Yeah, right.
The first...
So we have to actually try to break this record here. Let's
Come
go
on,
for
people.
3.6.
Listen, if the pandemic is what was driving you those other 2 years, we're still in a pandemic. The pandemic is still here. And these organizations still need your help. So this is a radiothon, WNHH radiothon, doing it with the Great Give. So we need y'all to give. These organizations are amazing. This is what sustains and provides support to our communities and to our neighbors. So let's give as best you can, because we're not strangers. These are our neighbors. These are our brothers and sisters across the street, around the corner, up the hill, back over there. These are our people. So these organizations are supporting our people. And you know how you can support our people? You support these organizations that do this work. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's the reason why if you look around the country, a lot of states aren't doing that well. But when you have an organization like this, like the Community Foundation, and this event, The Great Give, a 36-hour online giving event to support local nonprofits. Let me just say that. But give greatly, because it actually helps support Connecticut and support basically the government, because where the government falls short, we have these organizations who are there to pick up the slack. So you're listening to The Great Give on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, and of course we're being hosted by the great Love Babs Love Talk morning show with Miss Babs Rose Ivy.
All right, so we got I think I got is this Jamila Rashid? I think she's back, so she's ready. Let's get her on.
Yeah, guess who's back?
She showed up a little early, but she's on now. And I want to hear about the Nice Center. I don't know this organization, Harry. And this will be my last turn at the radiothon, and somebody comes on after me.
Yep, Alan Appel will be on after you.
All right,
Yes.
Alan. Hello. Unmute yourself.
Good morning.
Are you Jamila Rashid?
Yes, I am.
How nice to meet you. How are you?
Same here. I'm well.
And Eid Mubarak.
Thank you very much. Yes, that was.
We just came off of Ramadan, and I hope it was peaceful and enjoyable for you and your family.
Thank you very much. It was. Thank you.
All right. So tell me about the Nice Center.
Okay, the Nice Center, which the acronym is for the New Haven Inner City Enrichment Center. Started about 6 or 7 years ago, and our purpose was to help those who are struggling in poverty to meet basic needs.
Okay.
So we basically began as one winter we decided we wanted to collect coats because I saw too many young children walking the street in the wintertime without a coat or without socks.
That's a very Black mother thing right there. You sound like my mom. My mama was the same way. She couldn't stand to see a child without a coat.
Oh my gosh. It just pained me, So we did that coat drive, and we said we can't do it, but we were doing it on the outside and it was cold. We were outside giving out coats. So we said we need a place. And so I spoke to the lieutenant of the New Haven, police department, who was in the Hill South at the time. His name was Lieutenant Jason Minardi. And they had like cabinets in their community room. And I said, well, what are you using it for? And I told him I had this idea of doing a food pantry. And he was just gung ho. He said, sure, why not? They're not doing anything with it. And so we started our food pantry out of the community room of the police substation in Hill South. We've been doing it ever since for the last 6 years.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So do you have a goal amount that you're trying to raise?
Well, we did. We were reached real high, 25,000. It was up there. Because right now what we're trying to do is we need a bigger space. There's so much more that has to be done, and storage is a little tight in the community room. Mm-hmm. And so we were hoping to get what was something we can claim as our own, probably start renting, and set it up the way we want to set up so people feel comfortable, come in, and have access to a computer or something if they need resources. We did an after-school tutoring program a couple of years ago, and the few students we had, the parents were so impressed that they wanted to come back again, but we couldn't get it started up the following year. Then because COVID came in, and things like that. We just want to try and be more. We want to teach people how to take care of themselves rather than just constantly feed them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Give them the tools they need to make life a little easier for them and their family.
So, how many people do y'all serve?
Well, we're open once a month, so we do about 75 families.
Okay, that's a good amount of families.
Yeah, and what happens is, once the word gets out, then you get more people coming in. But at that point, we're sort of like, the pickings are slim. So, we had to sort of like limit it. And, if we have more space and give people more access to things, it'd probably be easier to expand. But right now, we're about 75 families.
And so how often do you provide the services that you provide?
We're open once a month, the last Saturday of every month.
Okay.
Out of the substation, yeah.
And what are the hours?
11 to 1.
Okay, so that's a tight window for people, but I'm sure, but people get there though, right? They make it.
Well, I mean, people are out there at 8 o'clock in the morning waiting for the number because we give out numbers to make it easier, so that haggling doesn't go on, that jostling for space doesn't go on. But people are out there at 8 o'clock wanting their number, and we tell them you got to come back at 10:30. You don't open till 11.
So if I'm in line with my number and I get to the door, what do I get? Like, what's the experience for me?
Well, this last couple of months we've been contemplating client choice, and so the last couple of months we've actually let people come in. We greet them. We ask them for the members in their family because now with they've been trying to not be too interpersonal with people because of the virus issue, etc. So we don't ask a whole lot of questions. All we want to know is how many in their family. Okay. And then once they come in to the main area, we tell them how much they can take of a certain item, and ask them if they want this or that. Before that we were just pre-packing bags, and I think there was a lot of waste, or people were either giving it away to people that they didn't want it. But now when I see people come in and tell them, this is what you can get, what do you want, and they seem to take the same things we've been packing in the bags. So people sort of get into a routine of this is what I have, this is what I'm used to. We're trying to increase our offering of fresh vegetables and fruit. That's you might
want to partner with the Massaro Family Farm people that was just on before you.
Yeah, I know Katie. We talked about gardening a lot, not so much about, but that would be great if I can hook up with her to get some of that excess stuff to be given out.
Are there any gardens in the Hill, Miss Rashid?
I live on Arthur Street in the Hill, and so there's a community garden right down the street from me. And I was the one that started that community garden. So yeah, I'm in the community deep. So when we have excess, we do take it to the pantry and give it out to people. We do.
Okay. All right. So that sounds like so if you get another space that allows you to expand, is that the idea? Like you want to expand?
Yeah, we want to do like a clothing closet. We want to be able to give people hygiene products because hygiene products are very expensive. If you're on a budget and you can't even feed your family, how are you going to buy shampoo, body wash, soap? All that, the prices are just too much for people who don't have it in their budget. So we've been trying to do that. Also diapers, personal hygiene products for women. These are things we want to keep in stock to give out to people.
Okay. So, so how much money have y'all raised so far during the Great Give? Have you raised any money at all yet?
Yeah, I think we're at 1,000.
Oh, hey.
We're very grateful for that. You know, it's more than what we had in the start. So anything, and it shows that people see what we're trying to do. They really are willing to support us, that we're worthy of their dollars. And we really, really are so thankful for that. They just don't know how much it's going to help us.
Well, I am so happy that I got a chance to talk to you. So you know how this goes. Did they tell you you have to do a poem or a dance or a song or something?
Well, I got a couple of haikus I can read.
Okay.
I said, let me try and get this together. Okay. All right. So you want me to start now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So it doesn't have a title. Give me a day's rest to see how much I can collect to serve those who matter. Nice are the hands serving those who deserve our time and patience and see the good abound. Stand firm on a foundation, strengthened by dedication to commit one's intention to be there when needed.
Those are very nice, very thoughtful.
I had to really think about it. I had to think about it. So yeah.
Those are good. Are they your haikus?
Yes, they are.
Those are very nice. Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna suggest. You create a little chapbook of haikus and then you sell them. Good fundraiser.
There you
Just
go.
saying.
Yep.
Or
I got a couple of friends. I got a couple of friends who like to write them too. So yeah, we're gonna try it. That's an idea. That's an idea we're gonna have to propose and work on. Definitely.
Yeah, you should do it. That's a good fundraiser, and it wouldn't, you can get things printed so cheaply these days, in places. So, and you can print on demand. So consider it.
Okay, I will. I appreciate the idea. It helps.
Very nice to meet you.
Every little help helps.
It does. And good luck today for the rest of the day. The Nice Center, everybody. So if you want to help folks in the Hill, because y'all are in the Hill.
We're in the Hill, but we serve all of Connecticut because we work with Connecticut Food Bank, so we have to open the doors to anyone in Connecticut.
Okay, so if you want to help folks, not just in the Hill and Connecticut wide, the Nice Center is where you want to put your money. Thank you so much.
Very much. All right.
Have a good day. Take good care.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
All right, Harry. I think my time is coming to an end. So if you haven't made any donations, I hope these folks that you heard over the last 2 hours moves your heart to give. And if you can't think of any other place to give, Online Journalism Project that funds the New Haven Independent and WNHH Radio.
Well, unfortunately, your relief hasn't come.
Oh, does Alan know he's on?
You remember the working shifts, Babs, where you're waiting on your relief and they never show up?
Uh-huh.
That might happen today.
Oh, okay.
You might work overtime.
Somebody get Alan our panel. Oh, there he is. He's in the waiting room.
All right. So before we let Alan in, that was great. And by the way, she actually filled the NICE quota, right? Because when you have NICE in your name, I know it's an acronym, but when you have NICE in your name, you have to fill the NICE quota, right?
Yeah.
It's a necessity.
Yeah.
So she was sufficiently nice.
Yeah. And I didn't know of her organization, so I learned something new.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know of it either. And what we have on the sheet is Hill Food Pantry.
So. Yeah, Harry, that's right. So,
So anyway, let's before we let Alan in, let's go to some music. Oh, you see, I just got confused. I thought I was at home. And I was going to my music at home. Nora, can you lift up the Megasec volume?
Yes. I'm on my way out, people. I'm back tomorrow, back to our regularly televised program. And I've got Karima Meekins to talk about Amplify Hamden Arts and Shelley from the International Festival of Arts and Ideas at 10:15. So I got two different festivals going on, a conversation tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. So it's Friday tomorrow, Harry. This will be behind us.
I thought we were taking off tomorrow.
No, we don't. You know what? You know what? I'm leaving now. I'm not going to be part of your shenanigans. But you know, I'm not here next week, Harry. I'm away at the Storytellers.
Yeah, I know. I have to be tortured by someone else on your own.
Well, it's a good torture.
Nora, can you lift up the Mega Seg volume?
All right, good people. I'm glad y'all tuned in. I'm pointing up so that you pay attention to the tote board. And Alan, have a good time with these folks. And I'll be back tomorrow, Harry. So you enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, bye, Babs. All right, and you're listening to The Great Give, a 36-hour online giving event to support local nonprofits. And of course, you're listening to The Great Give on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. How you doing, Alan?
All right, Harry. Good. I'm good.
Good.
Last time I saw you, or last time I was in this chair, the Great Give was 1.4 million, and now I'm seeing it's 2.5 million.
Yeah, we're at 2.5, on our way, hopefully past the 3.5 mark.
Is that the goal? Is that the record?
Well,
3.5?
that's the record. In 2020, they hit 3.5. Last year, they hit 3.35, but we want to go above that, hit that 3.6 number.
So we have confidence we will. It's a sunny, optimistic day.
Yeah, it
Right.
is. Yeah, actually, it is going to be a lovely day today. So
We began in the rain, and we're gonna end in the sunshine. That's the way it's supposed to be.
yeah, about 70 today is going to hit. So
Oh man, I'm gonna put the tomatoes in the ground.
yeah, you were talking about your tomatoes yesterday.
I'm obsessed with them. I
Yeah,
had
so-
9 that died. I want to talk to. Am I going to get a farmer to talk to today? I hope so. I want to get some advice.
Well, we just talked to Massaro Farms.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if we have another one on the schedule. Can you pull that screen forward, Alan, so we get your whole self there?
What's wrong with what you see now?
Well,
That better?
I only see your head. We should get a little bit more of your torso there. So
Well, who's checking it out? Torso. Torso. I never showed my torso online.
well, you know, not well. You could. I mean, maybe that's the key to actually getting past that 3.6 million mark.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna get a lawyer.
I know. Call HR.
I'm being approached inappropriately.
But pull your laptop screen a little forward.
Closer to me?
Yes, because we're only getting your head.
You don't understand. I mean, I've got orthopedic issues here. You laugh. All right. How's that?
No, you didn't do anything.
What do you mean? Oh, pull the screen.
The screen.
Oh, the screen.
There you go.
Oh, torso. Oh, my outfit.
Now it's a little too low. You could right there. Perfect.
I don't know.
You don't know it's perfect.
I don't know. Do we know how many people are zooming in, or how many people are listening? Have we got those sense of our audience?
We don't have that. But you know, everybody's listening. Look, they're all giving.
They are.
I say we're a big part of the give part of the Great Give. You know, we get people to listen to. We get them motivated. You have all these organizations actually, you know, telling the people what it is they do, and I think that's the most important part. I mean, if you can't connect to the organization, and a lot of times you don't give.
I know, and we have 15 minutes to talk to people, which is which is really enough because so many of the organizations, the 510 organizations, a lot of them are really very inspirational, the stuff that they do. I was impressed yesterday with with how different organizations are really finding a niche. That's my big takeaway from interviewing people from yesterday. Is I used to think that New Haven was overrun with nonprofits, but there are a lot, but I don't think there is as much overlap as sometimes people think. I think people are finding unique needs and addressing them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I felt the same way. I actually still feel the same way, that they are overrun with nonprofits. But what we find out in these 2 days is that it's necessary. There's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of gaps that people fall in, that they don't get help, and you have all these organizations actually, doing that outreach to help people.
Right.
So it's necessary.
Right. Exactly.
Speaking
of which,
have Carte, one of them. It's a mobile art museum. They are not in the room, so I'm not sure. Oh, there it goes. Paul put they canceled. So we have actually this time gap. So if you want to go and get yourself a snack or something, I could play music.
I think that's it. I think since I'm showing my torso, I think I should change into a snappier outfit. Yeah. We could do that. I'm sorry they canceled. I was interested because I did a little due diligence. They're a mobile museum. They are reimagining the museum concept, and they are bringing the museum to kids who might not find it easy to get to the museum themselves. It's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Too bad they canceled. I should speak a little more on their behalf. I can do that if you'd like for a moment.
Well, you could if you want. Feel free. Until we have another 10 minutes until our next guest.
Well, let's see. They work with high school kids, according to stuff on their website, but also pre-K kids. And I mean, putting stuff in a like putting books in a van and taking books to neighborhoods. We've seen that with the wonderful New Haven Free Public Library. But putting a museum in a van, so to speak, is kind of wonderful. Well, maybe we will see Carte next year on The Great Give. People can go to thegreatgive.org here at this radiothon, and they could give to Carte or even the Online Journalism Project, which we have a special fondness for here on WNHH 103.5. Is it still 103.5?
It's still 103.5.
Oh, that's good.
We haven't changed that.
Well, so many things changed during the pandemic, but the radio is made for a pandemic, I think, right?
All right, so we're gonna go to a quick music break. We'll come back in about 5 minutes.
What's wrong with my patter? I like my conversation. You wanna?
Oh no,
okay.
you could keep it going.
No, I'm good. No, this is good. You've convinced me, and I'll be back at 11:15.
11:15.
See you then.
The only pope that spoke to me was Olivia, and since my family feuds, watch Steve Harvey for trivia, or I ride the tide to the Iron Bowl, get stuck in March Madness, believe a lie to CNN told. I took a different pathway and not a pipeline, became a disciple of a discipline that's unheard by. Black Latinos, indigenous populations, ancestry starts before land's domination, before emancipation, before cutting down trees, for PTSD when blue and red lights behind me. For a life of so hard, I wanna do something. From concrete to flood plains, you can see our blood stains. We treated the sword that gave and still gives life. My vitamin D was not deficient, cause I was outside. This hip-hop poetry plus poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow. This hip-hop poetry plus poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow. This hip-hop poetry and poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow. This hip-hop poetry and poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow. This hip-hop poetry to practice. Hip-hop is still religion, both made by human, both imperfect, make a new tradition. This hip-hop forestry. Our trees are not a commodity, they teach us, show us how to live on troubled land and harmony. This hip-hop forestry. Because both roads from underground, one change landscape, the other change the landscape of sound. This hip-hop forestry. We not scared when people or bugs approach it. We don't just worry about POs, we worry about COs. This hip-hop forestry. Emissions, we don't do carbon copies, we cross-pollinate culture and respect our water up bodies. This forestry hip-hop. We all related, we respect forms of life, don't treat me worse than a pet, something about that. It's forestry hip-hop. In different forms with dialogue and debate. The forestry hip-hop, you can't own what you didn't create. Forestry hip-hop. Respect life, cause life is the value. Listen, discuss, and problem solve, and then we add you. Forestry hip-hop. Inclusion ain't just about solutions. In food and water and religion, we remove pollution. This for hip-hop. Every complexion is worth protection. Care for the land and the people, that is true progression. This for hip-hop. Started in New York and hit the planet. Carolina with forestry. Land ain't just to be managed, it's to be respected, because we all been neglected. Two communities come together in one body, let's protect it. This hip-hop forestry plus poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow. This hip-hop forestry plus poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow. This hip-hop forestry and poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow. This hip-hop poetry and poetry is getting late, let's poetry. This academic superstar gon' plant and seed and grow a tree.